The assault cannon is a ballistic six-barreled, self-loading rotary autocannon, effective against infantry targets and light vehicles at close to medium range. It is a medium-caliber rotary autocannon, with its 6 barrels cycled by an electric motor past a single chamber. The assault cannon was developed after the end of the Horus Heresy in the early 31st millennium as a replacement for the autocannon. Introduced during the Mark IIIA phase of Indomitus pattern Terminator armor development, this weapon is the standard alternative to the heavy flamer as a Terminator squad special ranged weapon. Its design has changed little in 10 Terran millennia, retaining the distinctively long, cylindrical, rotating barrels. Although it lacks the range of the autocannon and many other Imperial heavy weapons, the assault cannon is a fearsome weapon when used at the close-range role from which it was intended to be fired. The weapon is prone to overheating and jams due to its high rate of fire. The number of rounds fired per second are counted in the hundreds. The barrels and other firing components are made of a heat-dispersing ceramic or metallic alloy, helping the weapon to withstand the intense heat generated by its high rate of fire. Despite this, the barrels still reach temperatures of over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Due to the high rate of wear on the barrels, they are usually replaced after every mission by most Space Marine chapters and Astra Militarum regiments that use the weapon. Motor and barrel failure are common problems with the assault cannon, making the weapon prone to jamming during sustained bursts. The weight and complexity of its mechanism and the heavy recoil generated by its fire means that the assault cannon requires a stable firing platform to be unleashed effectively. The weapon's large size and tremendous fire rate require a special means to sustain, so the assault cannon is normally mounted on Imperial vehicles or combat walkers such as Sentinels and Dreadnoughts, or specially damped and fitted to Space Marine Terminator armor. It is also commonly used by the Blood Angels Space Marines as their close assault ball Predator main battle tanks sport a twin-linked assault cannon in the turret. The anti-infantry Land Raider Crusader has a similar dual assault cannon mount, whilst the standard Land Raider has a dual heavy bolter. The Razorback has the option to use a twin-linked assault cannon. Although the assault cannon lacks the range of other rapid-fire ballistic weapons such as the heavy bolter and the autocannon, its enormous rate of fire enables it to literally shred its way through most targets, punishing them with 100 rounds per second. Assault cannons are extremely potent at medium to close range against armored infantry and moderately armored vehicles, while heavy bolters are only effective against lightly armored targets. However, autocannons have a slower firing rate than a heavy bolter. The assault cannon epitomizes the deadliness of elite Terminator squads who teleport behind the enemy's front line and open up with fully automatic fire, spreading carnage and terror. Assault cannons are used by planetary defense forces on rare occasions as a stand-mounted defensive weapon, and are also found on the destroyer variant of the Marauder bomber. While the assault cannon is not normally considered man-portable, the powerful servos, recoil compensators, and stabilizers built into Terminator armor allows elite Astartes Terminator squads to carry the weapon into battle. The assault cannon is well suited to the battlefield role of Terminator squads, providing a massive rate of fire which often compensates for the enemy's vast superiority in numbers. In confined environments, providing long corridors of fire, such as space hulks and the hive cities of hive worlds, the assault cannon is invaluable. The high rate of fire makes the assault cannon unsuitable for extended engagements when used by Terminators, as the ammunition carried is quickly exhausted. This drawback is negated in vehicle and dreadnought mountings, where ammunition storage capacity is far greater. The standard ammunition fired by an assault cannon is a cased round, comprising a dense metallic core covered in a non-metallic composite sheath with a diamantine tip. This provides excellent penetration capabilities against light and personal armor, It has long been reported by the Astartes that the assault cannon's high rate of fire can allow it to chew through armor that would normally be impenetrable to a weapon of its caliber. Extensive testing by the Adeptus Mechanicus supported this observation, and Adeptus Astartes targeting doctrines have been officially amended to recognize this attribute. In general, the logistic shortcomings of the assault cannon are far outweighed by its destructiveness in combat and its effect on enemy morale. Notable assault cannon patterns. Mark II Abyssinia pattern assault cannon. This pattern of assault cannon is known to be used by the Red Brethren Terminators of the Carcharodons chapter. Mark VIII Absolo pattern assault cannon. This pattern of assault cannon is the one most often deployed by Space Marine Terminators and other Space Marine forces like dreadnoughts and land speeders. Iliastus pattern assault cannon. This prototype weapon system was designed as a more compact and portable variant of the highly successful Kurz pattern. It was, as can be divined by its pattern designation, first developed on the Iliastus satellite in the Sol system by the Dizanique techno-esoteric cult. This was a secretive organization whose fealty to the Emperor predated his alliance with Mars. Under field testing with the 7th, Imperial Fists, and 9th, Blood Angels, legions before the outbreak of the War of the Horus Heresy, the Iliastus pattern evidenced formidable firepower, but was prone to catastrophic failure under the rare conditions of heavy use. Kurz pattern assault cannon. The Kurz pattern assault cannon is an ancient pattern of the weapon that was commonly deployed on Contemptor pattern dreadnoughts during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy. It maintains a higher rate of fire than the standard pattern assault cannons used in the late 41st millennium. Nomus pattern rotor cannon. The Nomus pattern rotor cannon is the ancient predecessor of the modern assault cannon. It was commonly used amongst the newly established Terminator armored elite veterans of the various Space Marine legions during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy eras during the 30th and early 31st millennia. Punisher assault cannon. The Punisher assault cannon is a pattern of assault cannon specifically developed for deployment on Praetorian pattern sentinels as their primary armament. The Praetorian pattern sentinel is quite a different beast compared to its brethren. The main differences include the removal of almost the entire canopy and a simpler walking mechanism. The legs of the Praetorian pattern have one less knee joint compared to other sentinel patterns and are covered in thick armor plate. This is in accordance with Praetorian Guard combat doctrine, which is heavily focused around lines of infantry, in countless ranks, firing in massed volleys, supported by heavy weapons teams. The Praetorian pattern sentinel complements this strategy by acting as a mobile heavy weapon team, rather than a fast attack or reconnaissance vehicle.